Before my father passed away, he told me to prepare myself. I didn't realize he was talking about my survival. At the hospital, a nurse pulled me aside and said, "Your father wanted me to tell you that he only wants to speak with you and no one else." I was taken aback. Then the nurse said, "You better get in there. He doesn't have long." I loved my dad more than anyone. He was my best friend. I entered his room and he signaled for me to close the door and sit next to him. He could only whisper at this point and he said, "I have something important to tell you and you're going to need to prepare yourself." I gripped onto his fragile hand, got as close as I could to him, and he said, "Berg. I didn't understand any of that and told him to repeat what he just said. He stared at me, then said, "Damn it," and he passed away. I said, Dad, are you still there?" I don't know why I asked him that. It's not like he was on the other end of a phone call. I held him, cried for a while, then said my goodbyes. I went home and saw my stepmother waiting for me in the driveway. My dad's Achilles heel was the types of women he chose. It was pretty simple. He chose evil beaches. That was clear when she saw me and said, "Now that your dad's no longer with us, I'm having my biodaughter move into your room." I was shocked and said, Okay. Dad promised me that I could stay here until I finish college, so where am I supposed to stay?" She shrugged her shoulders and said, "Not my problem." She had extra hatred for me since she had no blood or emotional ties to me at all. I asked, "How long do I have before I have to leave?" "Well, my daughter has already moved into your old room, so this was nutso." "What did she do with all my stuff?" She pointed to a large pile of my things that were already stacked in the garage. She continued, "And since I'm taking over your dad's estate, I can't afford to financially support you anymore." I was floored. This bitch was doing everything in her power to get rid of me, which was really weird because in the 3 years she's been married to my dad, we barely spoke. Her daughter came out wearing my bathrobe and said, "How does it fit?" She and her wicked witch of a mother laughed as if they had just taken over the world. I left totally at a loss. I had no idea where to go. All of my friends were away at college. I went to the bank and they told me that I'd been shut out of my joint accounts that I used to share with my dad. I was completely broke. I couldn't afford a plane ticket or a bus ticket, not even a sandwich. I was out on the street. I spent the night at a homeless shelter and was woken up in the middle of the night by a man that was laying on top of me that claimed we were married. I told him, "I've never met you before, sir." Luckily, he climbed off of me and apologized. The next day, I applied for a job at every place that I could find, desperate to find something, anything. I got turned down everywhere. I slept at the shelter again and then got a call from the wicked bitch of the West and she said, "Just wanted to let you know since you didn't pick up your stuff, I had to put it out with the trash." I was enraged. All my belongings dumped. Then she said, "Today at 3 is the reading of the will. You need to be there so you can get confirmation that he left me everything." I couldn't believe that in less than 3 days my entire life was ruined. I showed up to the reading expecting to hear the worst. The lawyer read my dad's will, saying, "I hereby leave all of my financial and physical assets to the one person that I know will do right by me." I looked over at the evil step witch of the North, and she pretended to be tearful as if she gave a shit. The lawyer continued, "That person is my one and only son." The wicked hag of the South's face literally melted off. She cried so hard that her makeup ran off of her wrinkly face. She said, "That can't be right. He told me he was leaving everything to me." Wrong. I hired a moving company to dump all of her and her daughter's stuff into the middle of the street. When I think about what she would have done to me if this was reversed, I don't feel bad at all. I got to live in my dad's awesome house completely alone. I've never been happier. Thanks, Dad.